Hello, friends. Welcome to your thrilling and exciting channel. Let's get started. Centuries have passed, and their dark eras were never without secrets, strange occurrences, and terrifying events that unfolded during those times. Eras intertwined with demons and the underworld. Perhaps their secrets faded away with time and came to an end, but surely not everything has ended. My dear friends, today's episode revolves around a mystery that has persisted for over 400 years and continues to baffle us to this day, despite diligent efforts to decipher it, with only partial success. The protagonist is a nun, and the subject is a message. However, this is not just any message we have read or heard about. The message is cryptic in both language and content. Yet, the real mystery lies not in these two factors. The bigger controversy surrounds the sender of the message and its author. This message is rumored to have come directly from hell itself, igniting the curiosity of codebreakers and puzzle solvers. So, what's the story, and what does the dark web have to do with it? Take a deep breath, my friends, for you are about to hear the text of a message penned by none other than the devil himself, with the conduit being Sister Maria. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with our latest content. You can further support the channel on Patreon through the link in the description box, enabling us to continue bringing you exciting and fresh content. Your support makes a significant difference for us. The nun Maria. Meet Maria, who was once Isabella Tomasi, before adopting her religious name. Born around the year 1645 in Italy, she hailed from a family that was considered noble and prestigious in those times. Her father was none other than Prince Giulio Tomasi di Lampedusa. As a young girl, she lived a life of privilege, immersed in the lap of her family, receiving education in various subjects and languages, much like any noble girl of her era. At the tender age of 15, the young Isabella made a life-altering decision. She joined the Parmadara monastery in Sicily and, following the customary rituals, took on the name of Maria Crocifissa della Concesione. Maria Crocifissa delved into the monastic life, embracing its religious duties and routines with fervor. However, she stood out from her fellow nuns. According to the writings meticulously documented by her convent, authored by the Mother Superior, Maria Seraphica, this particular nun had a distinct and unsettling complaint right from her entry into the convent. It wasn't just any complaint. It was a matter of chilling proportions, one that would serve as the cornerstone for the rest of the story, ultimately leading to a message from the devil himself. So, what was this unsettling matter that plagued Maria Crocifissa? Stay with us, dear friends, as we unravel the enigma together. Maria and the diabolic possession. Many of us, my friends, have watched horror movies featuring the eerie nun or the demonic nun as the central character. This isn't just a product of writers' imaginations or movie makers' creativity, but rather, it draws inspiration from actual events. The theme of possession and diabolic influence is deeply rooted and widely believed in by the Catholic Church. Often, it's the nuns who find themselves at the center of this malevolent force, as it tries to divert them from their divine path of service. According to documents from the convent and an article published in the Times, Maria, just a few days after entering the convent, commenced sharing her distress with her fellow nuns. She claimed to hear voices inside her head, whispering to her, urging her to turn away from the service of the Lord and towards the devil. But it doesn't end there. The nun was utterly convinced that the devil was intermittently possessing her and explicitly relayed this belief to her fellow nuns. What convinced the convent sisters that Sister Maria was indeed being possessed by the devil, and that he was attempting to lead her into sin and apostasy, was what they witnessed right in front of the divine altar or the place of prayer in the convent. According to the convent's records, Sister Maria would scream in terror and fear as she approached the altar, as if she saw something horrifying, something only she could perceive. before losing consciousness. When she regained her senses, she would tell them that the devil had manifested before her, preventing her from completing her path. And as if all of this horror wasn't enough, there came the event of August 11, 1676, the breaking point of the entire ordeal. What transpired on this day? Listen closely, my friends. The devil's message. On the 11th day of August, the nuns heard screams coming from Sister Maria's room. They rushed in to find her trembling and convulsing on the floor, her face smeared with ink, just like her fingers, and in her hand, there was a letter. According to the descriptions found in the convent's records, the nun seemed to be in a state resembling a detachment from reality. She suddenly regained consciousness, utterly drained of strength and exhausted. Sister Maria informed her fellow nuns that the devil had possessed her this time and had dictated a letter to her, written in her own hand. It's worth noting that both British newspapers The Times and The Mirror, along with other documents, mentioned that this letter was not the first but was the only one preserved in the convent. It carried an air of mystery and horror. The other letters, if any, had no mention in any of the sources. Let's continue with Sister Maria, my friends. So, the nun informed the convent that the devil was the sender of the letter. Initially, Maria and the other nuns attempted to decipher the message, but it remained incomprehensible to them. The message was then passed on to senior religious figures who, in turn, failed to decipher even a single word of it. Do you remember, my friends, the Mother Superior we mentioned earlier, Maria Seraphica, who documented the events in the convent? She also documented this incident in various sources and added that Sister Maria displayed great courage in facing the devil. She would often scream, "Oh, my God," during the episodes of diabolic possession that, according to their beliefs, afflicted her. What's noteworthy is that Sister Maria's history seemingly ends after the incident with the letter. I could find no record of her death, including the date of her passing or her burial place, leaving the letter displayed in the convent. Numerous efforts were made to decode its strange symbols and language, as the message consisted of a bewildering mixture of bizarre symbols and inscrutable writings. It incorporated ancient Latin, Greek, and Arabic characters, with enigmatic symbols interspersed, intensifying the enigma. The letter remained impenetrable, its codes and ciphers unbreakable for nearly 4 centuries. Until the year 2017. What happened in this year? Do you know, my friends? Stay with us to uncover the details. The successful attempt. Certainly, the subject of the message was widely known, and its mystery only added to its fame. So, numerous studies and attempts to decipher it were in full swing, but all in vain. Until the year 2017, when a team of scientists and researchers at the Ludum Science Center in Catania, Italy, led by the center's director, Daniele Abate, announced their successful decoding of nearly 70% of the message using a special software. Where do you think they found the software, my friends? Yes, as you might have guessed, it was in the depths of the dark web, which is a controversial topic in itself. The scientific team that achieved this breakthrough used a special decryption software, which had previously been used by some global intelligence agencies, as indicated by the team's leader. The team loaded Latin, Greek, Arabic, and runic alphabets into the decryption software. Runic alphabet is one of the oldest writing systems in the world, predating the ancient Latin alphabet. After loading the alphabets, the team proceeded to input the text of the message, and the surprises began to unfold. As mentioned earlier, the team managed to decode 70% of the message and translated what they deciphered into English. The initial impression was that the message undeniably had a diabolical content. Nonetheless, all the team's efforts in breaking its codes and assembling its parts did not yield a complete and clear meaning for the message. It was more like a collection of phrases and sentences scattered here and there. However, the common thread was that they all, in one way or another, symbolized the devil and his ideas. Here are some of the sentences the team managed to interpret. Humans are the creation of God. This system does not benefit anyone. Referring to the religious system. God thinks he can liberate souls. God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are dead weights, useless. Perhaps now, STYX is a certain matter. STYX, my friends, according to ancient Greek and Roman mythology, is the river that separates the realm of the living from the realm of the dead, or the upper world from the underworld. I believe, my friends, you now understand what the research team meant by what they interpreted from the message. It doesn't carry a clear meaning, but rather, it contains pure diabolical content. Well, my friends. So, the message has had most of its content unveiled, with the essence of this content remaining shrouded in mystery to this day. But now, the question arises, who really wrote the message? Do scientists agree with what's recorded in the church records preserved in the convent, stating that the author of the message is the devil himself? Our next stop will be right here. Stay with us. Theories and explanations. Although the research team acknowledged that the message indeed had a demonic content, as stated by Daniel Abate in several sources, such as The Times and Life Science, they refused to entertain the idea that the devil was the one who authored the message or that the devil possessed the nun and wrote the message through her. The prevailing scientific opinion on the matter of demonic possession is the rejection of this phenomenon. Therefore, they felt compelled to put forward some theories to attempt to explain what truly transpired. And that is precisely what they did. The research team leader believes that one of the theories is that the nun was indeed experiencing a form of possession, not by the devil but rather due to a condition known as dissociative identity disorder, DID. The symptoms of this disorder, which is recognized in our time, closely match the descriptions of the nun's condition, such as hallucinations, screaming, seizures, loss of consciousness, and detachment from reality. According to Daniel, all these symptoms provide clear evidence that Sister Maria suffered from dissociative identity disorder, a condition that was unknown at that time. However, Daniel emphasizes that this theory cannot be definitively proven. The main reason for this is that Sister Maria is no longer alive, and in that era, the Church attributed any psychological ailment to demonic possession. Another theory proposed by Daniel and his team suggests that the nun might have written the message herself, fully conscious and aware. Remember, my friends, at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned that the young girl, before entering the convent, was proficient in various languages. Documents from the convent indicated that Sister Maria was diligent in studying different languages and even became proficient in some of them. So, the theory goes that she might have written the message herself, and all the symptoms she exhibited, such as fits of terror and hallucinations, were mere acts. The reason? Daniel suggests that it is possible Sister Maria grew weary of convent life and wanted to escape it, or perhaps she was forced into religious life and sought an ingenious way to end it. However, this theory also cannot be conclusively proven according to Daniel. One thing is certain, though: the research team, which successfully decrypted most of the message, is firm in its belief that the devil was not the author of the message. As for the other side, specifically the Church, the documents and writings from the convent that witnessed the events confirm the existence of demonic possession. This is not surprising as the Church firmly believes in demonic possession. So, the message, its contents, and its author remain the subject of much debate and many questions. The most critical of these questions being, what is this message truly concealing? So, my friends, this is all we have about Sister Maria and the devil's message, a message that piqued the curiosity of everyone who encountered it. It remained mysterious in content and intention for decades. Even after most of its ciphers have been decoded, we cannot say we fully understand the message's purpose. Who wrote the message? Was it the devil, or was it Sister Maria? If it was Sister Maria, why did she do it? And how did she go to such lengths of detachment from reality and living in a world of fantasy? Or was the entire story an elaborate fabrication by a nun who grew tired of convent life and sought an escape? And could the scientists and researchers one day succeed in decoding the entire message and unravel its true purpose? Or have they done so already but kept the remaining details hidden for some reason? No one knows. And now, my friends, what is your opinion on Maria's story and the devil's message? Do you have a logical explanation for the message and its author? I'm looking forward to your thoughts and comments on this topic. Stay well, and don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Support the channel on Patreon in the description box, as your support makes a difference in allowing us to continue bringing you fascinating and new content. Stay tuned. We'll be back very soon.